So far you have seen how to create get API request, post API request, and also we have discussed how to create put API request in Playwright. In this Playwright API testing tutorial, we are going to see how to create patch API request in Playwright. So firstly, I will discuss the manual scenario, then we will automate it using the Playwright. So here I will navigate to the Postman tool. So firstly, we will create the booking, and in the API response, we will get the booking ID. By using this booking ID, so we are going to update the few details. So by using the put API request, so we are able to update the all the data. In this case, we are passing the full API request body, but in case of patch API request, so we are passing only partial API request body. So firstly, we have to create the booking, and then we have to generate the token. By using the token, so we can update the booking details in the application server. But if you look at the partial update booking API, so we have to pass the token number which we have generated in the previous API, that is a token generator, and also we have to pass the booking ID which we have created in the create booking API. Now let's navigate to the VS Code. We will automate this particular flow now. So firstly, we will create the JSON file where we will mention the partial API request body. So firstly, I will copy this API request body and I will go to the VS Code. So I'm going to create a one simple JSON file under test-data. So here I'm giving the file name as patch underscore request underscore body.json. So that's it. So I will add the API request body here. So that's it, guys. So here, if you want, you can add a few more fields also, but in my case, I'm adding only one field and a respective data. So that's it, guys. We have created the one JSON file and we have added the API request body. Now let's quickly create the one spec file. So here I'm giving the spec file name as patch API request underscore 08 dot spec dot js. So that's it. And here I will go to the one of the API called put API request. Simply I will copy the whole test and I'll paste it inside the patch API request. So firstly, I will update the test name here. So here I'll say create patch API request in Playwright. So that's it. So let me explain you what exactly we are doing in this Playwright test. So firstly, we are creating the booking by using the post API request. And after that, we are validating the status code. And then we are printing the API response details of the create booking. And then in the line number 26, so we are storing the booking ID. And then here we are validating the JSON API response of the create booking. So that's all about the post API. Now next we have the get API call. So in this get API call, simply we are validating, so whatever the booking we have created in this case in the above API. So by using that booking ID, we are validating whether booking details are present in the application server or not. And then, so we are printing the API response body of the get API call. Then finally, we are validating the 200 status code. So this is all about the create a booking, and also we are checking whether booking is present in the application server or not. Then, so here we have written a simple code where we are generating the token by using the post API request. And if you look at the line number 52, so this is where exactly we are storing the token number. Then finally here we are creating the put API request. So we will convert this put API request into the patch API request. So here I'll say patch API, and after that, so here I will update the variable name as patch API response, and I will use the same variable in the line number 65. So that's it. And also I will use the same line, same variable name in the line number 69. So that's it, guys. Now, so we have updated the one variable name, and here we have to make the patch API request, right? And also we have to add the URL. So URL is same, guys. There is no change if you look at the Postman also. So this is the partial update booking API, that is the patch API request. And if you look at the URL, so we have the /booking/booking ID. So same URL is present here. And after that, so here we are adding the headers. If you look at the patch API request, so firstly we are passing the content type, and after that we are passing the cookie is equal to the token and the token number. And then, so here we have to pass the patch API request, right? So simply I will remove this part. And right now we have the patch API request body inside the patch request body JSON file. So let's read the API request body now. So simply here we have to use the require, and inside the require we have to add the file location where exactly we have the API request. So simply I will add the file name here, and after that, so here I will give the variable name as patch request body. So that's it. By using this variable, we can create the patch API request. So under the data object, I'm adding the simply patch API request body. So that's it. And if you look at the line number 59 to 65, so this is where we are exactly making the patch API request using Playwright. And then, so by using this patch API response, so here I'm calling to the one method called JSON. So this JSON method will return us the API response body. So that's the reason here I will add the variable name as patch API response body. So simply we are printing the patch API response body by using the console.log statement. And finally, so we are validating the status code as the 200. If you look at the patch API request, so here we are getting the 200 as the status code. So if you want, you can validate the API response as well. So that's all about creating the patch API request using Playwright. Now let's run the API test. So our test is working perfectly fine and it is getting passed. So let's open the output. So firstly, we have created the booking. So this is the post API response body. And then, so we are checking whether booking details are present in the application server by using the get API call. And after that, we are generating the token. By using this token, so we are updating the booking details. So these details we got it from the patch API response body. And if you see your first name, so we have updated only first name. So while creating booking, so we had the first name as tester stock cypress. After making the patch API request, so we have updated the first name as only tester stock. So like this, you can pass many other fields also, guys, inside this particular JSON file, and those fields will be and respective values will be updated in the booking details in the application server. So this is how you can create the patch API request in Playwright.